Welcome back, Biddy Brigade, to the Witty Bitties of Nevada, the podcast where the towns are tiny, the legends are loud, and the mountains always have opinions.
Today we're climbing up to Austin, the Victorian mining town perched halfway up a mountain like it's trying to escape the rest of civilization.
Austin is the kind of place where you can walk down Main Street and feel like you've accidentally time traveled to 1871.
This episode is part of our Highway 50 series, The Loneliest Road with the Loudest Stories.
We've hit Dayton. We've tunneled through Sutro. We survived Stagecoach. We crossed Silver Springs. We ate melons in Fallon. And we stared down the wind in Middlegate. And now we're climbing into Austin, the mountain town that refuses to be forgotten. All right, Rosa, why did the town rose so fast?
Austin wasn't founded by a prospector, it was founded by a horse.
What? Wait a minute, Rosa. Another town that was found by a horse? Oh, wait. That was a mule. Okay.
Yes, that was a mule.
In 1862, a Pony Express horse kicked over a rock. The mule kicked over a rock too, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and exposed silver ore. So there are some smart horses and smart mules out there, even though they call the mules jackasses.
Yes.
Yes. So the horse kicked over a rock, exposed silver ore, and boom, instant mining rush.
Now, within months, thousands of people were climbing the mountain like it was Black Friday at the Comstock.
Austin went from zero to boomtown faster than Nevada can say, Silver Strike. All right. So, what happened with Austin at its peak, Rosa?
Well, for a brief, glittering moment, Austin was one of the most important towns in Nevada.
It had opera houses, newspapers, fraternal lodges, and more saloons than anyone could responsibly count.
It was a political hub, a cultural center, and a silver powerhouse.
Basically, the Beverly Hills of 1863, except with more dust and fewer tiny dogs. All right, why don't you tell me about some of the churches?
Austin has three historical churches, all built in the 1800s, and they are stunning.
Okay, so there's St. Augustine's Catholic Church, St. George's Episcopal Church, and the Methodist Church.
It's like the town said, we may be tiny, but we will be spiritually diverse.
These churches are so beautiful they make you want to confess things you didn't even do. All right, Rosa, why don't you maybe get into a little mini story called The Altar That Came by Wagon?
Okay, Biddy Brigade, mini story time.
St. Augustine Church has an altar that was hauled up the mountain by wagon in the 1870s.
Imagine dragging a giant carved altar up a steep, rocky road with horses who absolutely did not sign up for this.
The driver reportedly said, if God wants it up there, he better help push.
And somehow it made it.
Oh,
All right, we're going to go into Sherry, the people of Austin, the characters, geniuses, and of course, we got to have chaos
always.
always. So, Austin attracted a very specific type of person: miners, gamblers, dreamers, con artists, poets, and at least one man who claimed he could talk to rocks.
There was Dutch John Wagner, a miner who survived three mine collapses, two fires, and one bar fight involving a piano.
Harry S. Doughton. a teacher and a writer who documented early Nevada's life with sharp wit and even sharper opinions.
And the Stokes family, wealthy mine owners who built Stokes Castle, used it for one summer and then left like they just remembered they had other plans.
Austin's earlier residents were a mix of geniuses, gamblers, and a people who probably shouldn't been left unsupervised.
So, Nevada. All right, Rosa, let's get a little bit into Mary S. Doughton, the woman who wrote Nevada's Heart.
Ooh. Before we go any further, we need to give Mary S. Doughton her own spotlight because this woman didn't just live in Nevada's earlier days, she defined them.
Mary wasn't just a teacher, she was a force of nature with a pen sharper than a miner's pickaxe.
She taught in mining towns all over Nevada: Austin, Virginia City, Gold Hill, wrangling classrooms full of kids who were basically raised by dynamite and dust.
And she wrote, oh, did she write? Her essays and letters are some of the best first-handed accounts of the early Nevada life. Funny, blunt, emotional, and absolutely done with everyone's nonsense.
Here is a tiny excerpt from one of her writings where she describes the chaos of teaching in a mining camp school. I have taught children who came to school with their faces blackened from the mine, their pockets full of quartz, and their minds full of questions no book had ever answered.
That's Mary, observant, witty, and completely unafraid to tell the truth.
She wrote about the loneliness of her frontier life, the exhaustion of her constant booms and busts, and the strength of a woman who held these towns together.
Mary S. Doughton didn't just record Nevada's history, she felt it. She lived through the dust, the noise, the heartbreak, the hope, and the stubborn resilience that still defines this state.
And honestly, Sherry, if she was alive today, she would so be a biddy.
And very witty bitty. All right, let's get a little bit into some of Miss Doughton's classroom chronicles. And this is episode 1, The Quartz Incident.
Class, class, please take your seats. And Tommy, whatever's in your pocket is either rattling or growing. Remove it.
It's quartz, Miss Doughton. Pa says it's better than silver.
Tommy, if that rock was silver, your father would have already sold the house and moved to San Francisco.
He said that too. Miss Doughton, I can't do my spelling today. My pencil broke.
Billy, your pencil is not broken. It's merely shorter than it was yesterday, much like your patience, kid.
Miss Doughton, Tommy keeps trading quartz for my lunch.
Tommy, stop bartering minerals for sandwiches.
But that's how the economy works.
Not in my classroom, it doesn't. Books open, pencils ready, quartz out of your pockets, and if anyone sees a ghost, please inform me after arithmetic.
That kind of sounds like how some classrooms are now with kids complaining. I like I like how Mary told Billy that his pencil wasn't broken, it was just shorter than yesterday.
Yes. God bless our teachers.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. M- Rosa, was Austin also known as a Chinatown?
Austin once had a thriving Chinese community. Miners, cooks, merchants, and laborers who built much of the town's infrastructure.
They lived in a district called Pinon, and their work kept the town running.
Like most of Nevada's history, the best parts were built by the people who rarely got credit.
Yeah, and it's kinda interesting, Austin and south of Austin and all these mining towns, there was a huge Chinese community. They mostly talked about them when they were building the railroads, but you forget that they also were miners and they were in some of these mining towns, just like Mina. When we talked about Mina, how there was that Chinese girl that completely, disappeared.
Oh, yes, the continual history of Nevada and the different cultures that came to live here and settle here.
Yeah. And but also they were inventors, tinkerers, and, some people with wild ideas.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Austin was isolated and full of clever, restless people, it became a hub for inventors.
Experimental mining equipment, early electrical systems, water pumping innovations, and at least one attempt at a perpetual motion machine.
Ooh, they were doing physics before.
Mm, yes, they were.
Austin had more inventors per capita than Silicon Valley.
Except their inventions were powered by whiskey and optimism.
All right, Rosa. That yeah, whiskey always puts a lot of optimism. But were there any women who ran the town?
Yes, Austin women were tough, witty, and absolutely done with everyone's nonsense.
They ran boarding houses, businesses, schools, newspapers, and sometimes entire mining operations.
They didn't just hold the town together, they were the town.
And they would have absolutely run the Pony Express if anyone had asked them. All right. And as all these weird desert towns, there's ghosts and legends. And Austin has ghost stories because, of course, all these towns do.
So there is the lady in blue drifting near the old churches at dusk,
And the miner's lantern, a floating light seen on a hillside at night.
and the phantom stagecoach heard rattling down the canyon long after the last stage has left the town.
Okay. Is it ghosts? Is it echoes? Is it the mountains messing with us or just all the whiskey they've been drinking in all these towns to see the lanterns floating?
Well, in Austin, of course, all three of those are equally possible.
Yeah. It seems to be like a little pattern in almost all these ghost towns so far. They all have somebody, some ghost or a floating lantern. Is it a ghost or is it alien?
Could be.
Right, Rosa, you going to tell me about the Austin stone wall and the castle?
Yes, Austin has some of the most beautiful stonework in Nevada. Hand built walls that have survived 150 years of wind, snow, and questionable decisions.
And then there's Stokes Castle, a three-story stone tower building that was built in 1897. And as I've driven through Austin in the past, I've seen it, but never stopped. So, Rosa, we definitely have to stop.
Oh, yes, I've seen it as well and never stopped. And you know what the crazy thing? It was used for one summer, abandoned forever at the peak of Nevada's energy.
So, do you think it's, sorry for the cough, do you think it was haunted and they ran out or they ran out of money?
I'm pretty confident they ran out of money.
Hmm.
Maybe some
Um,
locals have some great stories for us.
yeah. And I apologize for the coughing and our internet connections. We are in remote sites today. So Hopefully, it's not as bad as I'm thinking it is. But as there's the mystery of why they only stayed in Stokes Castle for a summer, what about our mystery piano music story, Rosa?
Well, I'm feeling ornery still. I'm not gonna tell, but Austin has the gothic energy for it.
Oh, you're holding us in suspense. I feel it. All right, Biddy Brigade. Tell us your bust Austin story or the time you climbed the hill, toured the churches, or got lost in the Victorian vibes.
And the bonus points if your story includes a ghost, a wagon, or a castle that nobody needed but everybody loves. Let us know.
Hey.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, and me and Rosa have been talking about these bonus points. We might create a shirt to give out or a mug or a hat.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. So, hey, biddies, for the bonus points, you supply it. Also tell us what you might like as a prize. Where the mountains are steep and the legends are deep and the ghosts are polite. Thank you for listening to the Witty Biddies of Nevada. But Rosa, wait, where are we going to go next?
The next stop on our Highway 50 series is going to be Eureka, the town that proudly calls itself the friendliest town on the loneliest road.
I haven't really walked around. I've only ever driven through it. So I
I
can't wait to find out why it's the friendliest town.
I can't either. We'll definitely have to find out and let our listeners see and again, maybe meet some of the locals.
Yeah, that would be fun. We're gonna take this lonely road as a road trip once, and make sure that you give us thumbs up, like it, subscribe, share it with your friends, give us comments, and as always, if you're gonna be a biddy,
Be sure to be witty.